Hi you guys, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is well. I'm here to do a quick video giving you some ideas on the various fields that are available in social work. As you all know, my channel is very much for people that are studying social work or are thinking of studying social work or are already practicing social work. As we all know as well, social work is very broad. Like, you can basically work in any field that you want to, honestly, because I think that what we're taught at uni covers like a whole range of things. So our skills are applicable in a wide range of areas, but this is the fields that I'm going to be giving to you are basically like the commonest ones, the ones that you would often come across working as a social worker. So I've got a list here, so pardon me if I keep looking down. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first part of field of social work you can get into is clinical social work, where you could work in a hospital. You could be like working in the emergency department or the rehabilitation department, or the different like departments in the hospital, like pediatrics, oncology, mental health, or like the various departments you have in this. Almost every department in the hospital has a social worker, and I would assume the role of a social worker in those settings would be to ensure that people that are admitted into the hospital have like all their needs met before they leave the hospital. So there would be a lot of like crisis intervention and that kind of work. Under clinical social work comes working with people that have addiction issues, so people that have alcohol issues or drug or substance abuse issues. So there would be you could work as a social worker in that field, providing like working in rehab, putting together treatment plans and stuff like that with other professionals to help people that have addiction issues. You could find social workers in prison as well, doing rehab stuff again, and those people would come under clinical social work as well. So clinical social workers usually work with other like professionals, and they put together treatment plans and things like that for people that have like various issues. Yep. Obviously this is just like a brief thing. I'm not going to go into detail. If you want more information about it, of course you can go read about it, but I'm just giving a brief about like the different fields that there are. So that's it for clinical social work. Another part of social work that you could get into is child protection and child welfare. I'm sure this is what most people have heard about. There's this thing that social workers are people that take kids away from their family or something. I don't know where that definition came from, because not all social workers work with children, but there are social workers that do work with children. So those kind of social workers would be social workers in child protection. They would basically work with families that they think like they have concerns for, to ensure that the child is living in the safest possible environment. If they don't think that the parents are you know well enough or okay enough to take care of the kids at that particular moment, they would probably take the kids out and place them into residential care or foster care or something like that. Also, so obviously in removing the children, they do a lot of assessments and things like that to they need to validate the reason why they think the child is at risk if they stay at home before they can take them out, because obviously like there's very limited services out there for kids that are taken out of home anyway. So you have to like make a thorough investigation and be able to validate the reason why you're taking these kids out of their homes. So that's another part of social work. The third path, you can do social work in schools. So you can be a school social worker. In being a school social worker, basically you work with the children or the students that in the school to address their issues. You might have to do some emergency referrals or provide some basic counseling and things like that if they have any issues. You'll probably be working with the teachers of the school in putting together programs to assist the students. I would say an example would be like a truancy program or something like that. Sex education, things like that. I would assume that would be the kind of work a school social worker would be doing. You probably will be developing behavioral programs for the kids as well, and ensure that their education needs are being met. So usually before you get a job or whatever, they would give you like a job description, so there will be a lot more clarity about what will be expected of you and stuff like that. But I'm just giving like the basics of what to expect if you're going to be working in these fields. Another field you can work in is youth, which is where I used to work. I used to be a case worker in a residential program with young people between the ages of 13 and 14. If you see my previous videos, you probably know this. But yeah, those kind of social workers basically work with children who were taken out of home when they were younger and have been placed into residential homes to, you know, ensure that they're sort of okay, physically okay, emotionally okay. Their behaviors are being managed and, you know, things like that. Under youth comes foster care as well. So for kids that are taken out of home, you can either be placed in a foster home or you can be placed in a residential home. Usually, I think it's sometimes dependent on the needs that the child has at the time that they're taken out of home. That's how they decide whether a foster home would be more suitable or a residential home would be more suitable. Sometimes foster homes are very hard to come by. Like, there isn't that many people that are out there fostering kids and stuff like that. So in a case like that, even though a child might fit into the foster home model, they might have to like readjust it so they can be placed in a residential home. I did have like a circumstance like this when I still worked in youth, where a child we had basically he was perfect for a foster home, but there was no foster homes available, so we had to like put together a report that sort of escalated his behavior a little bit and made him seem a little more challenging than he actually was, just so we could place him in a residential home, because the only other option there was to place him in a hotel and have like a youth worker go in and see him all the time, which didn't really make sense. So yeah. Another part of social work that comes under youth as well is juvenile justice, which is basically kids who are involved in the criminal justice system. There's social workers in that field that work with kids like that as well, obviously to address their behavioral issues and to work with them and help them identify positive things about their life that they can build on together. Another part of social work you can get into is aged care, which is basically working with people, older people. There's different parts to this. I know about home and community care, where they basically work with older people so they can stay in their own home for a longer period of time rather than having to put them in a nursing home. So basically they organize services that will go into their home and, you know, help them out, clean, cook, you know, just provide social support, basic things like that. But yeah, I don't know much about aged care, but I know there's social workers there. Okay, another part is disability as well. Disability service have social workers there as well. So basically, employment agencies have social workers. Employment agencies tend to work with people, tend to work with governmental departments that deal with people who are meant to look for work in order to get paid by the government, basically. There are social workers in family and child counseling, adolescent counseling. There are social workers in criminal justice systems. I actually came across this job role advertisement that I found interesting. So now law firms are recruiting social workers, where social workers provide support to their clients, because obviously, like, when you're going through the criminal justice system, it can be quite like daunting and stuff like that. So the social worker basically provides social support and provides information about like legal services and things that are available and options that a client has and things like that for them. I hadn't heard about that before prior, so I thought that was interesting. So they're recruiting social workers as well. Migrants and asylum seekers, which is basically where I work. So they recruit social workers as well. And then like governmental departments that, you know, provide, like, you know, not just governmental and non-governmental organizations that provide like homeless services and, you know, domestic violence services and things like that. They recruit social workers as well. So yeah, social workers have quite a few options. Like, it's a very broad field, and it's like, you know, you can apply it anywhere really. Yeah, sorry, my camera cut off. Yeah, I hope I talked too much in my previous video, I guess, but I hope it kind of made sense to you guys, and it gives you some options as to what fields you can get into as a social worker, and it just broadens your knowledge around social work as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Please rate, comment and subscribe if you're interested to see more social work videos. Sometimes I do like outfit videos as well, so if you're interested, please subscribe and like my video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.